National 5 Biology students, let's do this exam question together. So students carried out an investigation to compare the ultrastructure of fungal bacterial cells, and the table shows the results for fungal cells. Complete the column for the bacterial cell by placing a tick in the appropriate boxes. Okay, so we know that a bacterial cell, along with the fungal and plant cell, have a cell wall. We know that the bacterial cell has no membrane-bound components, so that includes the nucleus and the mitochondria, so we will not tick them. It does have ribosomes. It does have a plasmid. It's the only cell of the 4 that we learn about that does have a plasmid. And it has a cell membrane like all 4 of the cells do. And it does not have a vacuole. The structure of the cell wall in the fungal cells was found to be different to that of a plant cell. Name the structural carbohydrate that makes up a plant cell wall. Now we know that the plant cell wall is made up of cellulose, whereas the bacterial and fungal cells are made up of a different material. Okay, on average, muscle cells contain 2,500 mitochondria, liver cells contain 2,000 mitochondria, and cheek cells have 200. Calculate the simple whole number ratio of the number of mitochondria in these cells. So in every exam paper, you're likely to be asked a question on ratios. So the approach that you take is always the same, whether it's a 3 number ratio or whether it's a 2 number ratio, and that's to provide the simplest whole number ratio. And you do that by finding a common denominator and dividing all of the numbers by that common denominator. So it's telling us here that we have 2,500 mitochondria in the muscle cell, 2,500. We have 2,000 in the liver cell, and we have 200 for the cheek cell. Now, because there are lots of zeros at the end of these numbers, what we can do is we can say, well, actually, they all have 2 zeros at the end, so we can cancel those zeros out, like so, okay? This is the equivalent to dividing all these numbers by 100, okay? 100 is the common denominator here, okay? So if we divide all of those numbers by 100, we would get 2, 20, and 25. And that's going to be our final answer for this one. Part C, explain why a muscle cell contains a large number of mitochondria. Okay, why would you have a large number of mitochondria in any cell, but specifically a muscle cell? Well, that is because it has a high energy or ATP demand. Okay. Why does it have that high demand? Because what do muscles do? They contract. So it has a high energy or ATP demand for muscle contraction. And why, therefore, does it have many mitochondria? Because the mitochondria is the site of aerobic respiration. Which is obviously where ATP is produced. Okay, so that's a tricky question. One of the more challenging ones that you'd be asked about, but that's how you go about answering it. Hope that helps, guys. Follow me for more of these.